Hi everyone, welcome to the new Python tutorial. Today I am going to talk about Decorator. The goal of this tutorial to explain the decorator in a very simple way. In this tutorial, I will talk about the need of decorator, the implicit and explicit call of a decorator, how we can implicitly and explicitly call the decorator, how we can apply the particular decorator to a function, and how we can use the multiple decorator on a single function. So one by one we will discuss everything in detail. I hope you stay with me till the end of the tutorial. And now before we start, quick note, if you find this tutorial helpful, hit the like button and subscribe the channel. This will help me to keep going. Now start with the need of the decorator. When you want to change the behavior of function without modifying it, then we can use a decorator. For first of all, how to write a decorator? First of all, we will discuss how to declare a decorator, how we are going to call the decorator. Suppose I have a function, let's say name of the function is welcome, and I'm not going to write anything inside the function. So this function is going to execute without any kind of an error. So when we have a decorator, we can add a decorator to this function which will extend the behavior of function or add the new functionality to the existing function. So we can call the decorator by using @ symbol and then the name of the decorator. So in this way we can write a decorator in a function. So now we will take an example how to write a decorator with the simple function. So first I write a very simple function. Let it be the function is, let's say I want to print a certain message. So I just use the function name as a message and will be print a certain message like welcome to Python tutorial, and this message I want to print. I want to apply the decorator to this particular function, so I just create a decorator like a function. So first I just create a simple decorator, and that decorator is having a parameter, let's say fun, and inside that decorator I write a functionality. So I'll take one more function, let's say wrapper is a function. Wrapper is a function we can use inside the decorator, and we will print a certain message inside it. Let's say this is the starting point of the decorator, and then we call that function, and finally we will print this is the end point of the decorator. So then we just return the function, let's say wrapper. This is the function that I want to return. Now what I'll do, I just call the function, let's say message, and execute the code. When we execute the function, a function will return a result, that is a print statement, welcome to Python tutorial. So first of all, I just compile the code and I'll get the result, that is, so when I compile a code, I'll get a result, welcome to Python tutorial. Now I want to apply this decorator to the function message. So how to call the decorator? There are two ways. Either I can implicitly call or I can explicitly call the decorator. First of all, I just implicitly call the decorator. How to call implicitly the decorator? When you call the decorator implicitly, I just use the variable message, and which will call the decorator, let's say simple decorator, and inside that we can pass the function that I want to apply the decorator. So name of the function is, let's say message. So I want to apply that decorator to that particular function, and then I call the function message so that the decorator is implicitly called to the function. I just save the code and I execute it, I'll get the output. So you can see this is the starting point of the decorator, welcome to Python tutorial, and this is the end point of the decorator. Decorator is successfully applied to the function message. This is the implicit call of the decorator. We can explicitly call the decorator. So I just make a comment to this particular line. I just make the comment to this line, And now I explicitly call the decorator like by using @ symbol and name of the decorator. So just I will apply the decorator explicitly to the function message. The same task will be executed again if I compile the code. Just I save the code and I just compile it one more time. It will print the same output, that is, this is the starting point of the decorator, then the message or inside a function, and then this is the endpoint of the decorator. So in this way we can implicitly and explicitly call the decorator for a particular function. Next part we'll discuss that how to pass the parameter to the function so that that function will work properly. So I just make the comment to the code and just write another function which will perform the task. So just I write a function with a parameter. Suppose I want to perform the square of a number. So I write a function that will perform the square of a number but with a parameter. So I write a square of a number. Let's say one parameter, let's say x is a parameter to the function, and then I just return the value from the function which will just perform the square of the number. So I just wanted to return the function with x into x, so that is the square of a number. So if I execute the function, what it will print, let's say square of the 5, and I just compile the code. First of all I just save the code and I compile the code. I'll get the square of 5, that is 25. You can see the 25 is going to be printed. I want to apply the decorator to this particular function. So now I write a decorator for the function. So just I write again a simple decorator which will be having a parameter, and then inside that we can write the function wrapper, and then we will print the message, print starting point of the decorator. Then we call a function, and then we are going to print the end point of the decorator. Of the decorator. So in this way we are just write the function, but this particular function is having a parameter. So that means we have to pass the parameter to the decorator. So where to pass the parameter? We have to pass the parameter to the inner function. So the parameter is first of all argument we have to pass, and then keyword argument as well. The explanation of this argument and keyword argument I had explained in one of my video. You can watch that video so that you can understand what is an argument and keyword argument. So the same argument we have to pass to this function. So just I'll pass arguments and the keyword argument, and whatever the result are generated will be stored in a variable, because that function will return a certain data and that data will be stored in a result variable, and then I just return that result, return the result of the function, and then at the end we are going to return the wrapper class, sorry, wrapper function, not a class. Now the decorator has been written, we have to apply that decorator to the function square. So there are two ways are there, either I can implicitly call or we can explicitly call. So here I can use the explicit call of the decorator. So let's say simple decorator, I just apply on the square of a number. So when I apply that decorator will perform a task and return the result. Now I want to perform the square of a number by using decorator. So I just remove this statement first of all, and now how to call the function. So whenever I call the function, that function don't contain a print statement. So I want to store the result somewhere so that it is going to be print. So which function I have to call? Square. Square is the function that I am going to call with, let's say 7 is an argument. So finally I want to print that result. So in this way we can create a decorator with a parameter and we can apply that decorator to the function. So when I execute this code, first of all I have to save it and then I'll execute the code. You can find this is the starting point of the decorator, This is the endpoint because we are written the value after the statement. So the 49 is going to be print. It means that this particular decorator is applied to the function to calculate the square of a number with an argument. So we can pass multiple argument to the function and we can execute the code. Now let us take one more example where decorator does something to convert the string into uppercase. Now how to perform the conversion of the uppercase? So first of all, I write a very simple function. Let's say I want to print the message. So I'll take a message1 as a function and which contains certain message. So let it be, it will return that message. Let's say welcome to Python tutorial. Welcome to Python tutorial. This is the message that I have to print into the uppercase. So this is my function. First of all, I just execute the function. It will print that message. So I require a print statement so that it is going to be print. So I just save the program and I compile it. I'll get the output welcome to Python tutorial. So you can see this. The outcome is with print welcome to Python tutorial. I want to convert this whatever the string into the uppercase. So I write the decorator. So what decorator here I write? I just write the decorator which will convert decorator. You can write name of the function of your choice. That decorator name can be anything. So I just pass the parameter, let's say function, and inside that I just create the wrapper class. Sorry, inside that I'll create a wrapper function, and inside that function we can just assign the function to the variable func. Then I have to convert the case into uppercase. So what I want to do, I want to convert the string into upper string. So upper string is a variable which will convert the string into uppercase and will hold into the upper underscore str. So the func dot upper, and just we are saying that the string is converted into the uppercase, and we are going to return the function, we are going to return the uppercase, so that is upper string, and then we are going to return the wrapper function. So this is the way that we can just write a decorator which will be convert the string into the uppercase. Now we are going to apply the decorator on the function message1. What here I'll do, I just use the @ symbol and the name of the decorator. So convert decorator is the name of the decorator that I am going to apply on the message function. So here just I save my code and I compile it. Here we'll get welcome to Python tutorial. So whatever the string I have, it will be converted into the uppercase. So in this way we can apply this decorator which will perform a certain task and will generate a result. So now you can see welcome to Python tutorial lowercase is completely converted into the uppercase. You can take any particular string which will be converted into the uppercase. So this particular decorator we can apply to the multiple function. So one decorator can be applied to a multiple function, or multiple decorator can be applied to one function. Now we will see how the multiple decorator will be applied on a single function. So now I just make the comment to this particular code, and I'll just write the next functionality to apply multiple decorator on single function. So now we'll see how to apply the multiple decorator on a single function. Now let's say I have to perform the operation, let's say the operation is I want to perform to find out the square and let's say cube of the given number. I want to perform square and cube of the given number. So first of all, I just write a very simple function which will print the number. So let it be, my function is definition, name of the function is let's say convert, which just convert that number and return the value 10. So whenever I just return that 10, so perform the square of a 10 and perform the cube of 10. So I'll take a very small number 5, square of 5 and cube of 5. So first of all, I just want to print that function print convert. So what it will happen, it will just print the value 5. So when I execute this code, my value 5 is going to be printed. I want to perform the square and cube of the number by using decorator. So I want to write a two decorator. One decorator will perform the square of a number and another decorator will perform the cube of the number. So now I first write the first decorator which will perform the square of the number. So I write a decorator name is square underscore decorator, and inside that I just use the keyword func, and then I will write the functionality of the decorator. So inside that I'll write a wrapper function, and then inside that wrapper function I want to just assign the value of that variable to x, and then I have to return the square of a number. So I just write return, I just want to perform x into x, and that value is going to be written, and then finally we are going to return the wrapper function. So this is the first decorator which will be perform the square of a number. It has been completed. So first I just apply that decorator to the function convert. So it will convert the given number into a square of the number. So I just use the decorator name, let's say square of the decorator. So when I apply the simple decorator which will perform the square of the number, I just compile the code. I'll get the result 25. I'll get the result 25. Similarly, I want to write a decorator which will be perform cube of the number. So what I'll do, I'll write one more decorator. Let's say and let's say I want to perform cube decorator, and here I use func variable. Again inside that we'll use a wrapper function, and then we'll perform the task. What task I have to perform? I have to perform to store that variable in an x, and then I have to perform cube of the number. So I just return x into x into x. So it will return the cube of the given number, and then finally we are going to return the wrapper function. So in this way we can just create the decorator which will perform cube of the given number, and now I want to apply that decorator to the function. So first of all I just write the decorator which will perform the square of the number, and then I will write the second decorator which will perform the cube of the given number. So now when I execute this code, what I'll get? Square of the number and cube of the number. Here I complete both the decorator, that is the square decorator and cube decorator. Now I want to apply that decorator to the convert function. So here I write let's say value 2. I just save the program and I compile the code. What will happen? The square decorator is applicable first, and then the cube decorator is applied. What is the square of 2? It is 4. And what is the cube of 4? 64. So finally it will print the 64. I just save the program, I compile the code, I'll get the value 64. You getting this? If I just change the value, instead of 2 I write 3. What is the square of 3? That is 9. What is the cube of 9? It is 7, 29. So I just save the code and I compile the code. I get the result 729. So in this way we can apply the multiple decorator on a single function, and one by one it perform the task. So first decorator is be applicable square of the decorator, then cube of decorator, and in this order. So from bottom to top it will take one by one decorator and will be perform a certain function so that it will return the value. Now we will just recap the things that we discussed in this session. The first one is the decorator. The decorator is used to change the behavior of function without writing a single line of a code. So we can implicitly and explicitly call the decorator. When we call the decorator explicitly, we have to use @ symbol so that that decorator will be applicable to the particular function. Then we discuss one particular function which will just perform the certain task. So this message we are going to print. Then we call the decorator with parameter. So when we write a parameter, that parameter we have to pass to the inner function with an argument and keyword argument. Then we discuss the decorator which will actually perform a certain task. I want to convert the string into uppercase. So we have to use a certain functionality inside the decorator so that the decorator will be perform a task and will be print the string into the uppercase. And finally, we apply the multiple decorator on a single function. So we can add n number of decorator to a single function, or we can use one decorator for multiple function, vice versa. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. We'll see you in the next tutorial.